Noiseworks with Heart and Soul, and welcome back to the Country Viewpoint here on your Colour of Country Life, Flow FM. Time to switch our focus to snakes and the havoc that they're causing due to the floodwaters. They're popping up in many rural and remote locations where some ordinary folks would not want them showing up. Terry Carstens is one of the busiest snake catchers going around in regional Australia. He's based in Mildura. We caught up with him to chat about a number of issues, such as the safety precautions people should take when they do come face to face with a potentially poisonous snake, and just how long this bumper snake sighting season might go on for. Let's go to Terry Carstens now to find out more.
Most of the snakes we're getting at the moment are due to the floodwater, because all of the bushland's been inundated with water around the housing areas around here. Robinvale, Nangelop, Colignan, Redcliffs, Merbeen, even Wentworth, Wronga. Everywhere where there's high water, the snakes have come out of the bushland that they usually live in. At the moment, we're probably pulling, I've got 9 already this morning, started at about 9:30. They're just trying to warm up because of the water, that's all, and moving around.
So presumably the biggest threat that sort of comes to snakes being in the vicinity of urban backyards is people's pets?
Yeah, a lot of people's pets, and like I advise people to lift their water bowls off the ground for their dogs, put a couple of bricks underneath them, so they're not just sitting on the ground. Keep the yard tidy, lift up all the tin, any tin laying around the place, anything that the snakes can hide under, because if you live near a river at the moment, they're going to be looking for other places to hide.
Would you say that people are sort of unaware of the fact that right now in particular is more of a there's more of a likelihood that you're going to find a snake in places or parts of, the street that you may never expect to come face to face with one? People always know not to walk through long grass and things like that, but presumably right now, because of the floodwaters, as you've mentioned there, we've just got snakes popping up here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, they're coming out of the drains because of the drains are filling up. A lot of the snakes are coming up in places that I haven't caught snakes in for a long time. And before the new development up here in Mildura, like our divisions are spreading right out further, we're gonna have a lot of snakes popping into people's houses. Just a matter of keeping your eyes open.
What would your advice be to someone that finds a snake in a spot that they don't want to find one? It's more than likely going to be their house if they are wanting to call a snake catcher like yourself. Would you advise that they do that immediately, or are there other ways to sort of just mitigate situations where you might find an unfriendly snake?
If there's a snake in a house, then they can call either me or Steve Murray. Both of us can be contacted through the council or the police or on Facebook, and we'll come and get it. The idea is if someone can watch the snake, and then we can come straight to it, catch it and remove it. It's quick. Otherwise, we're going to be sitting there for hours searching for it, lifting furniture and whatnot. So if it can be watched, we can come and get it straight away.
What are the kinds of snakes that you're finding at the moment? How venomous are they?
All of the snakes we get up here in Mildura are mainly eastern browns. We get the odd tiger snake out of the wetlands and the black snakes. The odd king brown that swims in from the river, and we get the odd, the best banded snakes, which you were talking about earlier, is the mud adder.
And there's been a lot of news about this mud adder popping up in South Australia. We're going to find out more with Terry Carstens after this break. Don't go anywhere. It's the Country Viewpoint here on Flow FM. And welcome back to the Country Viewpoint here on your Colour of Country Life, Flow FM. We've been speaking with Terry Carstens, the Mildura-based snake catcher, who says that this is the busiest season he's seen in an extremely long period of time, and this is due to all the floodwaters that are coming in down the Murray Riverway in southeastern Australia. It is pushing snakes out of their natural habitats into people's properties, particularly those in regional and remote parts of the country. But there's some interesting news that's come out recently about a certain species of snakes. It's the black adder, which is critically endangered in Victoria, but a University of South Australia student and local hepatologists recently recorded several nocturnal sightings near the town of Renmark on the Murray River in South Australia. So we're going to find out more about this now with Terry Carstens. We'll go back to the conversation I had with him earlier on.
Well, it's been located at Ned's Corner, Lake Coleraine area, all along the Murray Sunset Country area. There was reports of them down on the South Australian Paringi area, which they could move with the wetlands because they're a frog eater. They like to stay around the water. And the rising floodwater could push some out down that way. So there's more big chance of it.
How long do you foresee this situation continuing to plague people with snakes popping up? Because obviously, you know, the floodwaters are going to dissipate eventually. So do you expect this to be prevalent across a lot of the summer, or do you think that it might ease?
Well, this summer I think it'll be pretty busy for all of the snake catchers along the river system right through the Murray, and even into South Australia. I've spoken to a few catchers in South Australia that are very busy at the moment. So, yeah, it's just going to be a good year because there's plenty of food about.
All right, Terry, tell us about your history as a snake catcher. You've been doing this for a fairly long time, and you're saying that this is one of the most, biggest bumper years you've ever had. So how long have you been in the game?
Probably 25, 30 years now. 30 years been catching these critters. And, I'd just say it's going to be another busy year. It's not going to be a real big, over-essential year, but it's just because the floodwater's here and we'll just be busy.
And is there any final advice you've got for anyone, Terry?
Don't panic. If you see a snake, stand still and walk backwards away from it. If you panic and you find one walking down the track, if there's one in your house, put a towel under the door if it's in a room, put a towel at the door, block it in the room, ring us, one of the snake catchers, and we can come and get it and remove it safely.
That's Terry Carstens, the Mildura snake catcher, and if indeed you are in need of his services, you can get in touch with him through the Mildura Rural City Council. Or when we come back here on the Country Viewpoint, we'll conclude the show for today. I'll see you back here in a short while.